Hello friends, this video on human eye and the colorful world part 8 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 7 before going ahead with part 8. So now we will talk about, so far we have talked about reflection, refraction and dispersion. Now we will talk about another important and interesting phenomenon shown by light, and that is known as scattering of light. So let us see what is scattering of light. It is the phenomenon of spreading of light as a result of collision with particles of medium. So scattering takes place when light collides with the particles present in a medium, and as a result light gets spread. So the most important example or the most common example of scattering of light is the blue color of the sky. We all can see the sky as blue. That is because of the scattering of light. Similarly, you would have seen that during sunrise or during sunset, the sky appears little reddish, right? So that is also because of scattering of light. Now, let us first understand what is scattering. So when we talk of scattering of light, it is good to talk about Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is an example of scattering of light by colloidal particles. So there are different types of scattering phenomenon, that is something like Rayleigh scattering and all those stuff. But for you, at this level, we will only talk about Tyndall effect. So what is Tyndall effect? It is also a scattering of light. That means this also happens due to collision with particles of the medium. But in this case, the collision happens with colloidal particles. So what are these colloidal particles? So again, we got a new term. So let us first understand what are colloidal particles. So in order to understand colloidal particles, we will first have to understand what are colloids. So what are colloids? They are actually homogeneous looking heterogeneous mixture. I am sure all of you know what is homogeneous and what is heterogeneous. Homogeneous is a mixture where all the components are uniform throughout. That means the liquid is uniform throughout. Whereas heterogeneous means the substances which are mixed together to form that mixture, they are separable, they are distinctly separable. So that is a heterogeneous mixture. You would have studied about homogeneous and heterogeneous in your chemistry, right? So colloidal, when we talk about a colloidal solution, it looks homogeneous, but it is actually heterogeneous. So in this, particles are dispersed in a continuous medium. So one of the common examples of colloid is milk. So when you look at a glass of milk, you feel that it is a homogeneous mixture because it looks uniform. But if you use a very powerful microscope and look at the same glass of milk, you would be able to see the particles present inside the milk. So that is why we call such mixture, we do not call them heterogeneous, we call them as colloids. Colloids or colloidal solutions. So we call them colloids because they look homogeneous, but actually they are heterogeneous. But their heterogeneous form can be seen only with the help of a powerful microscope. Another example is blood. Blood also looks uniform and homogeneous, but actually it is heterogeneous. So the size of the colloidal particles, so the particles which are present in these colloidal solutions are called colloidal particles, and the size of the particles are extremely small. It is in this range, 10 to the power minus 9 to 10 to the power minus 7 meters. So it is that small. So now that we know what are colloidal particles, it will be very easy for us to understand Tyndall effect. So Tyndall effect is scattering of light by colloidal particles. That means by extremely small particles. The color of the scattered light depends on the size of the scattering particles. Which color of light will get scattered, it depends on the size of the scattering particles. If the scattering particle is very small in size, it will scatter only small wavelengths. If the size of the particle is big, it will scatter bigger wavelengths. So small particles scatter smaller wavelengths and bigger particles scatter larger wavelengths. This is very important to remember because this forms the base of all the scattering phenomenon which we see around us. So one of the beautiful examples of Tyndall effect is, you would have seen that light rays enter even inside a dense forest. Even inside a forest like this, light rays are able to enter inside the forest. How is that possible? That is because of the small particles which are present in the atmosphere, light collides with those small particles and it gets scattered, and that is how light enters even inside such a dense forest. And you are able to see the beam of light. If you look at, if you visualize this situation, you'll be able to see that you are able to view the beam of light. Sometimes even if, sometimes let us suppose even if you are sitting in a room, and it is very sunny outside, and you have a very extremely small hole on your window, and you see that light rays coming through that small hole. In that case, you will be able to see the exact beam of light. You could see those small particles in that small beam of light. Have you ever observed that? Right? If you have not, you try this out. You see that when light enters through a very small hole in your window, you are able to view the path of that light. You are able to view the path of that light, and you can also see the small particles present in that beam of light. So this is known as Tyndall effect. That is, the particles present in the atmosphere, if those particles are very smaller in size, they will scatter only smaller wavelengths. If they are bigger in size, they will scatter bigger wavelengths. If the particles are big enough, they can even scatter white light because it has got high wavelength, right? Okay, so it was all about Tyndall effect. Now let us see, why does the sky appear blue? Why is it that it appears blue? Now, in this case also, what happens, the atmospheric particles which are present are extremely small in size as compared to the wavelength of white light, right? Because normally whenever we talk about light, we talk about white light. So the atmospheric particles are very small in size. Now, just now I told you that if the particles are smaller in size, they will scatter smaller wavelengths, right? Now, if you look at the spectrum of white light, you would see that the red end of the spectrum, that is red, orange, yellow, that end of the spectrum has comparatively larger wavelength as compared to the blue end of the spectrum, that is violet, indigo, blue. So that end of the spectrum has smaller wavelength. So therefore, these small particles of the atmosphere scatter smaller wavelengths. So they scatter the blue end of the spectrum, and the red end of the spectrum is not scattered. As a result, the sky appears blue because the factor which is responsible for the blue color of the sky is the small size of atmospheric particles. Had there been no atmosphere, let us suppose if there is no atmosphere present, in that case, what would be the color of the sky? If there is no atmosphere present, in that case, there would be no atmospheric particles. So there would be nobody to scatter the light. So as a result, in that case, the sky would look dark. There would be no color of the sky at all. Right? Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.